everyone. Today is day 68 of the Jews Feast, and my name's Melinda with raw-wisdom.com. Maybe you can hear it in my voice, but today I'm not feeling so great, emotionally that is. They say the quality of a relationship has to do with how you fight or argue. And what you argue about, I guess, in the way you argue. Sometimes in this relationship that I'm in, I just don't feel like we have an emotional empathy toward one another. And we tend to push each other's buttons at the same time. Maybe other people have that, but I question whether or not in my primary relationship, when we have these moments, whether this is the right relationship for me. So those are some of the thoughts running through my mind. I've been in Oneonta now for a little over 3 years, so I'm not really sure where I would go, but I would definitely go somewhere warmer, like Florida. It's starting to get really cold in Oneonta. So, I wanted to share with you some thoughts by Emmet Fox that I've been reading about the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. And Emmet Fox was a New Thought minister during the 20s, 30s, and he had a very interesting interpretation of the Bible. So, the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, he says, gives the key to the nature of man as we know him. When you understand these symbols thoroughly, you will understand your own makeup, and you will be able to begin the work of getting dominion over yourself and your surroundings. The Bible is not written in the style of a modern book. It has a method of its own of conveying knowledge through picturesque symbols. The reason being that this is the only possible way in which knowledge could be given to people in all ages, in different parts of the world, and of different degrees of spiritual development. A symbol appeals to any audience, each individual getting just what he is ready for. The 4 horsemen of the apocalypse stand for the 4 parts or elements of our human nature. There is first of all the physical body, the thing that you see when you look into the glass. Then there is your feeling nature or emotions, and although you cannot see your feelings, you are tremendously conscious of them. Third, there is your intellect, which contains every bit of knowledge that you possess. Finally, there is your spiritual nature, your real eternal self, the true you, the I am, the indwelling Christ. This is your identity, which is eternal. Almost everyone believes in its existence, but most people are very little conscious of it as an actuality. Ultimately, the time will come when the first 3 will be merged in the 4th, and then we shall all know, instead of only believing, that the spiritual nature is all. And ye shall seek me and find me when ye shall search for me with all your heart. So, the first horse, it comes from Revelations. And I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed with him. This is Revelation 6:8. The first horse is the pale horse, and pale means the color of terror, a kind of ashen gray. The pale horse stands for the physical body. If you live but for the body, there is nothing but hell awaiting you on this plane or anywhere else. There is nothing but hell awaiting you on this plane or anywhere else. I guess I needed to read that twice. The body is the most cruel taskmaster of all when it is allowed to be the ruler. The pale horse indicates all other physical addictions too, what the Bible sometimes calls the world, money, position, material honors. Whoever lives for worldly pursuits is the rider on the pale horse. And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth. Revelation 6:4. The red horse is your emotional nature, your feelings. It is dangerous to allow your emotions to have control. This does not mean that emotion is a bad thing in itself. Uncontrolled emotion is a bad thing. A strong emotional nature is a splendid endowment if you are the master, but if it is mastering you, you are riding the red horse. I think today, this evening, I was riding the red horse, definitely. And I behold, lo, a black horse, and he that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hand. Revelation 6:5. A pair of scales is here a symbol of unbalance. The black horse stands for the intellect. Riding the black horse is letting your intellect dominate to the exclusion of the emotional and especially of the spiritual nature. It's a good thing to have the intellect well trained, but it is a misfortune to let it be the master. Western civilization has been definitely riding the black horse since the close of the Middle Ages. Humanity has developed scientific, intellectual knowledge far beyond the point to which it has developed the moral and spiritual understanding of the race. And that does go hand in hand with raw wisdom. So, and then Revelation 6:2, and I saw and behold a white horse, and he that sat on him had a bow, and a crown was given unto him, and he went forth conquering and to conquer. The white horse is the spiritual nature, and the man or woman who rides the white horse achieves freedom and joy and ultimate happiness and harmony. We are told two very interesting things about the horseman on the white horse. The Bible says that he that sat on him had a bow. The bow and arrow is an ancient symbol of the spoken word. When you speak the word, you shoot an arrow. It goes where you aim it. The horseman on the white horse speaks the word. The rider on the white horse also wears a crown, and the crown is a symbol of victory. The rider on the white horse is always the victor. This then is the story of the four horsemen of the apocalypse. If you want peace, an understanding of God, there is only one way. You must ride the white horse. Now, I can tell you, I truly believe